guys how to buy XCP or Counterparty and also Pepecash, so you can use that to buy rare pepes on rarepepewallet.com. So first thing you're going to want to do obviously is set up a Rare Pepe wallet. Just go to this URL. The first thing that it's going to do for you, if you've never been here before, is it's going to set you up with a wallet. Make sure you write down your seed words and store them very carefully and in a safe place. I wouldn't even store them on your computer. I'd write it down on a piece of paper and keep it in a place that you're not going to forget where it is, because if you lose that, you lose all your pepes and your assets. So definitely don't forget to write them down and keep it in a safe place. Number 2, when you have your wallet set up, you're going to be able to click on this currency icon, and it's going to drop down and show you your current balances. In order to get XCP or Pepecash, you need Bitcoin in the first place. So you can transfer Bitcoin to your Rare Pepe wallet address by just hitting deposit, and then this is your address, and just send Bitcoin to this address so it'll show up in your balances. It's going to take whatever amount of time. It's not going to be instant. Obviously, let it confirm, and you're eventually going to have Bitcoin in your wallet. Now, let's assume that this is your wallet and all you see is Bitcoin at the moment. You don't see XCP or Pepecash balances. So now to get XCP, what you're going to do is go to this URL, xchain.io/asset/XCP. Once you're here, you can click on dispensers. These are all smart contracts that send you Counterparty or XCP after you send it Bitcoin. So you can click on view, and these are all the dispensers. Make sure you check the rate, the Satoshi rate of the cost of XCP, right? Because you want to make sure that this is somewhat decent and not an outrageously high price, because sometimes what I see people do is they try to be real slick, and instead of having 0.0005, they might do 0.005, which means it's 10 times more expensive per XCP. And I'm not sure if I can find an example, because like this one right here, this is an outrageously high price for XCP. XCP is about, you can check DexTrade. XCP is about this Satoshi rate, so it's about $24, and I can find rates that's close to that almost exactly on the dispensers. Sometimes the website's just a little slow. So this Satoshi rate's pretty decent. So I'm just gonna use that for this example, but yeah, make sure you check it and see if it's a decent rate. I mean, sometimes you're just gonna have to settle for a slightly higher Satoshi rate just because there's not any current dispensers out there that actually have a balance. So once you make sure you have a good price, you can click on view, and it'll show you that if you send this amount of Bitcoin, you'll get this amount of XCP, right? This is the Satoshi rate. And it looks like they have 617 XCP remaining balance. So what you can do is you can go to your Rare Pepe wallet and click on your Bitcoin. And what you want to do is take this address, because this is the receiver's address. This is where you want to send your Bitcoin to. And this is the amount that you can send for 1 XCP. So for this example, I'm going to buy 2 XCP. So what I can do is I'll just take this amount and I'll put it in a scientific calculator. I just use Desmos, and I'll times it by 2, and then that's the amount that I need to send to get 2 XCP. So I'll put that in here, and I usually just click on this because I don't want my transaction to be too slow. So I just click on the recommended fee, and then I'll hit send. But before I hit send, I refresh this like a lot of different times to make sure that nobody has an unconfirmed transaction before me. Because let's say somebody sends out a transaction for 617 XCP altogether, then if I send this transaction, I would lose this amount of Bitcoin, right? And I don't want that to happen. So I'll refresh it again, and then looks like there's no unconfirmed transaction. So I'm going to send it. Transaction sent. I'm going to save this because it has my transaction hash, so I can keep checking it. It's going to take a while probably for the transaction to show up, and that's okay. Unconfirmed, and it's going to be confirmed in one block, and that's probably going to be pretty soon. So once I did that, I can come back here and check, and my transaction is now going to show up in unconfirmed, right? This is my address, and I'm buying 2 XCP. So it's almost instant that this shows up. As soon as there's a transaction hash, it's going to be input onto here. And that's why I keep refreshing it, because if somebody, instead of me, was buying 617, then I would be shit out of luck. I'd lose my 0.0119 Bitcoin, 0.00119 Bitcoin. So if I also come back to my Rare Pepe wallet, I'll now see the pending transaction. So that's the one way to get XCP. The same thing for Pepecash. You can actually go to the Rare Pepe Trading Club Discord, and there's a channel called Dispensers, and you can see different kinds of dispensers going out. Okay, so there's a Pepecash dispenser where you can send, this amount of Bitcoin and get Pepecash. Or what you can do is, once you have your XCP, you can just click on Pepecash and you can buy and sell Pepecash. So once you have your XCP come through, you can just click on this, like the lowest sell order, and click on, how many ever enter in how many ever Pepecash you want. And this is the price per Pepecash. I might just do like a little bit above, because that's what Rare Pepe Wallet suggests, that you just put it slightly above so it knows which sell order to buy. And I'll preview order, and let's see, I should have 2 more Pepecash after this order is complete. So let me just make sure what my balance is. 76. So if I click on this, I should have 78 after I'm done buying this. So 2. And after this is confirmed, this also has to go through confirmations. And once that's confirmed, I'll be able to see it in my balance. So you can keep checking your transaction hash. Sometimes it takes like minutes. Sometimes it takes a long time, depending on the network traffic. So after that's complete, you should have your XCP. Now, once you have your XCP, you can come in and look for different cards that you want and buy them. I'm just going to take this card, for example. Well, that's actually pretty expensive. But let's say we'll try to buy some Pepecash so you guys can see what it looks like. So Pepecash, this is also a card, but it's also the currency that you can use. But if I wanted to buy a Pepecash, I can just click on this, and that's exactly what we did. But I'm just showing you guys this because it could be an example of like buying a card. So let's see. So Pepe Rose, this is a card in Series 1. Let's say I had 375 XCP or above, and I wanted to buy this card. I just click on it. I might change this to like something slightly higher, and then if I had that amount of XCP, it would let me, preview the order and then send it. So that's pretty much all there is to it. You can also buy XCP on DexTrade, but the fees on DexTrade is incredibly high. Because I remember the first time that I bought XCP, it was around I bought like 20 XCP, and just to send it, I lost 4. And that's $100 that I had to spend as a fee just to send about 16 XCP. So the fees are incredibly high on this platform. A lot of people don't like it because it's not very trustworthy. It's not the most popular exchange. So the best way to get XCP or Pepecash is just by using dispensers or buying Pepecash directly. But I like to get all my XCP from xchain through smart contracts. Hopefully that helps. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to start a ticket or DM me. I'll be happy to walk you through any issues that you might have. I think the most important thing to take away is just refresh the smart contract a bunch of times to make sure that there's no unconfirmed transactions so that you don't lose your Bitcoin. Bitcoin the Rare Pepe Trading Club Discord, and I'll leave this is actually in the resources channel, Rare Pepe resources channel, so you guys can go join this Discord so you can see the dispensers and whatever else. And this is just the number one community for Rare Pepes. Obviously you should be in here all the time, or whenever you can, to become more knowledgeable about Rare Pepes and just interact with the community. And also obviously this dispensers tab is very, very useful. Just like you're buying XCP, you can also buy cards directly from dispensers, just the same method. So if I click on, let's say, Zeta Pepe, and I go to the URL, I'll be able to see that there's actually a dispenser for this. So I can send this amount of Bitcoin to this address from my Rare Pepe wallet. So let's say, I wanted to buy this card. All I do is I'd go here and I do the receiver's address and I do this send amount to get that Rare Pepe, which is Zeta Pepe. And you can do that for, Pepecash, like I said, or just different cards. So this is also a method that you can use to directly buy your Rare Pepes without having to go through XCP. Now, these don't come up too often, but when they do, sometimes there are some really good deals, because some people that hold a lot of these cards may let them go for very cheap prices, and they prefer to maybe let them go for XCP or Bitcoin directly. So you can just directly send your XCP or Bitcoin to buy one of these cards. Now, if this was an XCP order, then you'd see the amount of XCP to send to this address to get that card. You want to make sure that you're only sending your Bitcoin to these addresses from your Rare Pepe wallet, because if you send Bitcoin to one of these contracts from, let's say, Coinbase or something like that, you're not going to get your Rare Pepe. It's just going to be lost, as far as I know. And if anybody has any different information as to whether you can still claim your Rare Pepe if it gets sent to like a Coinbase address, let me know. But as far as I know, there's no way of getting it. So definitely only send any kind of transactions from your Rare Pepe wallet.